Alright, we're going to try the first try it. Plot point to each quadratic function. Points, that should be, not point. Find the coordinates of the vertex, the line of symmetry, and the minimum or maximum y value, the function value. Alright, so here we go. You're given the equation y equals x squared plus 2x. And what we want to do is to determine a set of points from which we can then draw the graph. So let's use numbers in x that are easy to plot. So the very easiest one to start with is going to be 0. So let's let x be 0. So if I plug 0 in for x, so 0 squared plus 2 times 0, 0 plus 0 is 0. So our very first point is going to be 0, comma 0. So that's going to be our first point right there. Alright? Now let's use 1. So if I plug 1 in for x, so that's 1 squared plus 2 times 1. Well, 1 squared is 1. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. So now our ordered pair, whoops, let's try that again. That was a horrible 3. Is 1 comma 3. So we'll plot that point. So we're going to the right 1, up 3. There's our point right there. Let's do negative 1. So if I have negative 1, now important note, when you have a negative number and you're squaring it, put it inside parentheses like so. The reason is, if you were to do this on the calculator, and again, if you did this without the parentheses, you get a wrong answer, because negative 1 times negative 1 is a positive 1. Then you have plus 2 times negative 1. So I have 1, so that's a positive 1. Then I have negative 2. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. So I have negative 1, negative 1. Okay, there's a point there. Alright. And let's extend our line down a little further. Okay. So, let's go negative 2. So I have negative 2. So I go negative 2 squared plus 2 times negative 2. So negative 2 squared is a positive 4. And negative 2 times 2 is a negative 4. If I add those two together, I wind up getting 0. So at negative 2, I'm back to 0. Okay. Let's try negative 3. So if I go negative 3, so I go negative 3 squared plus 2 times negative 3. Well, that turns into 9. This is negative 6. And 9 plus negative 6 is positive 3. So I'm at negative 3, 3. So from here, you get an idea of what that parabola is going to look like. So let's color that in blue. So, as careful as you can, try to connect the dots in a way that's going to make it look somewhat smooth. Somewhat smooth. So that would be the general shape of our parabola. And as you can see, where the curve turns, where the parabola turns, is right here. This would be our vertex. This is the vertex, which is at the x value when x is negative 1. So right here, this is the vertex. So, when they ask you for the vertex, would give them the ordered pair, -1, -1. Now remember, as I said in my earlier discussion, the line of symmetry is the vertical line that goes right through the vertex. Okay, and this takes on the equation. Remember, it always going to cross the x-axis, so it's going to be x equals, where's it crossing the x-axis at? -1, which happens to be the x-coordinate of your vertex. So x equals -1. Alright, so that's the line of symmetry. It's going to be in the form of an equation, x equals -1. And then it asks you for minimum or maximum y value. So that's also part of the vertex. So when it asks you for the min or the max, so we're looking, now this parabola is going up. So the bottom of the vertex is at the bottom. So the y value is the minimum y value. So this would be the minimum. The minimum value of the function, what they call the minimum y value, minimum of the minimum function value is going to be -1, which is this y coordinate value right here. That is where you get the information from. All right.